Welcome to Impact Signals, Social Impact at the Scale of AI. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Sarah.
It's Monday, August 17, 2026, episode 106. Today, early warning gets money and hardware. Pakistan commits $37 million US to 286 glacial flood warning stations. The American wildfire detection build-out now runs from satellites in orbit to sensors on the ground, and a national alert in Wales arrived in 2 languages minutes apart, and the gap is the story. We start in Pakistan, where the government just announced it will install 286 early warning systems across Gilgit-Baltistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to detect glacial lake outburst floods, under a $37 million US project financed through the UN Adaptation Fund.
What makes this significant is the hazard class. Melting glaciers across the Hindu Kush, Himalaya, and Karakoram ranges have formed more than 3,000 glacial lakes in those 2 regions, 33 of them assessed as at risk of hazardous outburst, and more than 7.1 million people live downstream. An outburst flood gives communities less natural warning than almost any other hazard.
Dunya News and Arab News report the systems will cover 24 vulnerable valleys, 18 in Gilgit-Baltistan and 6 in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The timing matters. Monsoon rains and floods have killed 155 people and injured more than 460 in Pakistan since June, and a glacial outburst from the Shishpar Glacier tore through the Hassanabad Valley in early August.
Right. And this is a second phase. The first ran from 2011 to 2016 in the same regions, so the new telemetry lands where the risk is already mapped. The stakes have a number attached. The 2022 floods cost roughly 1,700 lives and an estimated $30 billion US.
So the field deployment to watch is 286 stations against a mapped inventory of 33 dangerous lakes.
And the delivery window is concrete. The stations need to be live before the 2027 melt season to matter for the next cycle. That is the date this announcement gets judged against.
Moving to the United States, in the worst fire year the country has seen in at least a decade, more fires and more acreage burned to this point than any year in the last 10. The Associated Press, in a feature carried by AccuWeather and The Guardian, maps how far AI wildfire detection has come, and it now runs in 3 layers.
The newest layer is in orbit. A SpaceX rocket carried the first 3 FireSat satellites up in July, the start of a planned 50-satellite constellation built solely to spot wildfires. It pairs infrared sensors with AI that compares each new image of a 5x5-meter patch against earlier passes, aiming to catch a fire the size of a beach bonfire within 20 minutes of ignition.
The middle layer is cameras. Pano AI runs more than 1,400 high-resolution cameras across 17 states, with AI scanning every frame and human analysts confirming before an alert goes out. And CAL FIRE's Alert California network of more than 1,200 AI-enabled cameras now spots about half of the state's wildfires before the first 911 call, half before anyone dials.
And the ground layer just moved from pilot to procurement. The city of Irvine and the Irvine Ranch Conservancy will roll Senso Rai AI's solar-powered sensors, machine learning that detects ignitions as small as a square foot, across the 40,000-acre Irvine Open Space Preserve, with large-scale installation beginning in early 2027, funded through a California State Fire Capacity Program.
That company began as a 5th-grade science project. USA Today profiled founder Ryan Honery, who started building the network after the 2018 Camp Fire and now works with the Orange County Fire Authority. In pilot testing, his sensors flagged an ignition more than a mile away before residents or the camera networks caught it. Irvine is the company's first paid contract.
So the 3-layer architecture maps to conditions: satellites for country-scale coverage, towers with human confirmation for populated corridors, and cheap ground sensors close enough to catch a square-foot ignition. Detection is becoming the solved end. The next dated milestone is FireSat's first operational data delivery to fire agencies, promised before the end of 2026.
Pivoting to Wales, the United Kingdom's government sent a national emergency alert around 7 on Thursday evening, warning of very high wildfire risk, at the direct request of fire and rescue services. In Wales, the Welsh language version landed first, and the English version followed between 2 and 10 minutes later, while the government's alerts page showed only Welsh text for roughly 15 minutes.
The revealing detail is what people did in the gap. Residents reported pasting the alert into Google Translate, ChatGPT, and Google Lens to find out whether they were in danger. North Wales police logged a surge of 999 calls, and some users said they disabled emergency alerts entirely afterward. Those are the exact alert fatigue failure modes warning designers work to prevent.
Local reporting from Wrexham gathered hundreds of public comments, and politicians on both sides weighed in. Critics largely did not object to Welsh arriving first. They objected to two messages arriving minutes apart instead of one bilingual message. The government pointed to the Welsh Language Act and said it sends alerts bilingually where possible.
For practitioners, this is a rare, well-documented case of an alerting system failing on comprehension rather than detection in a rich country with working infrastructure. The pressure now is for combined bilingual delivery, and the system's next national outing is already scheduled.
Story 4, Hong Kong. The government announced its first batch of 30 AI projects across 13 departments, rolling out in phases from mid-2026 aimed at shorter queues, streamlined applications, and faster complaint handling, led by the Digital Policy Office. The city is also expanding AI inside its 1,823 citizen services hotline, including tools for emergency response coordination.
Most government AI announcements are strategies. This one is a numbered project list with a phased delivery calendar, which makes it checkable. The two things to watch are whether the phased deployments land through late 2026 and what the hotline's emergency coordination tooling actually does in a live incident.
On the disaster watch, Indonesia leads. A magnitude 7.7 earthquake struck the Flores region early Saturday local time, and GDAX, the Global Disaster Alert and Coordination System, has it at red its highest alert level, with about 1.2 million people in the strong shaking zone. Regional press reports at least 68 dead and more than 200 injured, with over 230 aftershocks. Indonesia has declared an emergency, and international satellite tasking has been activated for damage mapping. Also on the board, a magnitude 6.1 earthquake near Portalri in Vanuatu, ongoing floods in China with more than 300,000 people displaced, storms and flooding in Indiana that killed at least 5 people with federal disaster aid approved, and a forest fire in Belgium at an orange alert, unusual for the country.
This is where the field reality matters. That Belgium fire sits in the same Northwest Europe fire risk spike that pushed the UK to send its national alert in the first place. The delivery question from Wales is live while the hazard is still burning. It is one border away.
On the calendar, the United Kingdom's nationwide emergency alert test is set for September 7, reaching every compatible mobile device in the country.
That test is the first hard date for the bilingual question. Whether Wales receives one combined message, this time is directly observable that day.
Funding watch. The UN Food and Agriculture Organization and Smart Africa's third funding round for AI farm tools closes August 31, 2 weeks out. The through line today. Money and hardware are moving into early warning at real scale. 286 flood stations in Pakistan, a 50-satellite wildfire constellation, 40,000 acres of ground sensors.
And Wales is the reminder that delivery is its own system. Detection worked, the hardware worked, and 2 sequential messages still sent residents to chatbots and the emergency line. Every deployment we covered today gets judged at that last step, the warning in the right language, in time to act.
That's Impact Signals for Monday, August 17, 2026. If this briefing is useful, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out at impactsignals.ai and share it with someone working in the field.
Stay ready.